We are out here at the NFL Network on the set of Path to the Draft with
Welcome.
NFL Network host Rhett Lewis. Thank you. This is quite a nice setup you guys got here.
Yeah, we have some fun out here, and it's a great opportunity for us to kind of talk about a bunch of the names in the draft. And, you know, it's not just 1 through 32 here. It's 1 through Mr. Irrelevant, and and we go up to and through the draft. So it is one of my favorite times of year and one of my favorite shows of the year.
And it's not like you have a lot to talk about as far as the Vikings go in the draft this year or anything.
Yeah, they have come up. I think we're 3 shows in. They have come up in each and every show, maybe in each and every segment of each and every show, just because, look, the obviously when you move into the back end of the first round with that 23rd pick that they got in the trade with the Texans to pair with 11, you're like, right? That's a little random to go to 23. Is that part of a bigger plan, which of course is what we all kind of assume here, to give themselves the ammunition if they want to move up for a quarterback. But who? How far do you have to go up? That's kind of what we're talking about until we get to April 25th.
For sure. And obviously the trends go in so many different directions, I feel like, each and every day. In your mind, where do you think the Vikings are trending? Is it trading up, or is there a name in mind for you?
Well, I can tell you what I would do. If there was a way to get a Drake May or a Jaden Daniels, because I think we all assume the Bears aren't going to move off of Caleb Williams at number 1, I find it hard to believe that the Commanders and the Patriots are going to move off of Daniels and or May at 2 and 3. But that's the trade that I would try to execute, is for one of those 2 guys, May or Daniels. Look, I think J.J. McCarthy is a really good player. I would just have a little bit of hesitancy of trading 11, 23, and probably a 25 first-round pick as well for a player in J.J. McCarthy who's shown you elite characteristics, elite traits, but not at the volume of the other guys. So that's where my hesitancy would be. I could maybe see as a little bit more plausible, maybe moving up a couple of spots to kind of keep the Broncos at bay at number 12, kind of make sure you stay in front of them to get maybe McCarthy falls to you then at 10 or sticking and picking at 11. I'd feel a little bit more comfortable there.
Yeah, if you stay at 11 and you don't go quarterback, do you keep the 23rd pick? Do you go in a different direction?
Well, I think let's say the Broncos do find a way to get ahead of the Vikings and they end up taking McCarthy. And so, you know, the Vikings are sitting there with the potential of taking, let's say, Bo Nix or Michael Penix. Maybe they don't feel that there's value there at that spot for those players. You know, maybe they can sit there and, you know, let's say take the best edge rusher at that point or the best corner at that point. And, you know, maybe that's a Terrion Arnold. Maybe that's a Jared Verse or a Latu Latu. Or you want to kind of continue, you know, working with your offensive line. You could do that at that spot. And then, you know, maybe you can get creative then with that 23rd pick. Maybe you package something, you know, let's say on day 2 in 2025 or one of those 4th-round picks this year and say, hey, we'll give you 23 and, you know, some sugar there to move up 5 or 6 spots to get up, let's say, maybe in front of the Los Angeles Rams at 19, who could be considering a long-term answer at quarterback. And maybe then you could go get a player like Bo Nix. I don't know. I think there are some options there at both of those spots if you don't feel comfortable with that massive haul that you'd have to give up to go all the way up.
For sure. And I think that when you talk to Kwesi and Kevin, and they talked a little bit at owners' meetings about the future of that position, they obviously added Sam Darnold, thinking that his best football is ahead of them. How could a decision to sign Darnold to a 1-year deal change or maybe influence the way that they go for a first-round pick in the draft?
Well, I think it's a really good question. It's an important one. I think it's one that the San Francisco 49ers kind of answered for us last year when they found a way to acquire Sam Darnold, knowing that Brock Purdy was coming off of the elbow surgery. Would he be ready on time? They wanted a guy that they could not only just kind of plug and play, but win with. And so I think, kind of running similar systems. There's some systems with some familiarity there with Kyle Shanahan, Kevin O'Connell, and that sort of offensive philosophy. I think it makes a ton of sense that you go get a player in Sam Darnold, who was thought of, obviously, coming out of USC as a potential franchise quarterback. Didn't work out in the places he's been, up until this point. But I could certainly see keeping the offense rolling until maybe a more long-term solution presents itself with Sam Darnold, though. I think he is a good player and in the right system can be, one that wins a lot of games.
Awesome. Well, Rhett, this was awesome. Thank you so much for having us here today at the NFL Network and chatting the draft with us. You can catch him on Path to Draft on the NFL Network or NFL.com. Thanks again.
Yeah, thank you.